Is Carush. I call myself Chisom too, formerly called Caroline Rumbi. I used to be called Shumba, but my family disowned me, so I accepted it. I'm currently trying to get an injunction to just distance myself safely from them. I live next door to radicalists. Just going to sit outside in the sun. I've reported the radicalists' confessions. The man is called Sabir. He lives in flat 4 Oak House. He was assigned against my life, together with his partner Hannah. Apparently to stop me from ever progressing into a relationship or getting married. He lives right there. That's his door right there. I reported him to the police. They don't do anything. Apparently I'm supposed to fight him tooth and nail. Can you imagine that? Sending a Barbie into a minefield. A whole radicalist. Who knows what kind of training this guy has? Manipulative, such a liar, a defamer, so deceitful, full of vile, filthy thoughts that he uses against my life. Telling the world, whether it's a prostitute or claiming that I'm his wife, claiming that I'm his daughter, misrepresenting me all over the world, developing all sorts of technology to interfere with AI technology anywhere in the world, claims to have blown up Indian Airways. I've spoken with the police countless times. I only try to figure out how he would have manipulated the technology to be able to reach me from anywhere. The most disappointing thing is that they don't do anything about it. They'll come and chit-chat with me as if they're supporting me. You don't make someone fight a terrorist. There's a whole terrorism act of 2000 they should really be acting on. He will even demonstrate what he's doing in front of them, and they will do nothing. I don't feel powerless. I get angry sometimes. They were banging on the walls for a whole year, and I was so intimidated. Now when they do something or he threatens me, I have banged my walls here and there, but it doesn't help anything. You might just hurt yourself. It does absolutely nothing. This guy claims, since last year actually, they were planning to conquer England, becoming king and queen of Zimbabwe. Such ambitions should not really be going, overlooked. They really need to be looked at. If someone is claiming that they've blown up Indian Airways, the very one with only one survivor, he's been trying to convince people who look like him. He is Asian, he's from Pakistan. He's been trying to convince people who look like him to be very intimidating towards me. Because I used to work with a lot of them. I grew up in Stepney Green. I had to learn the language. Because I returned to that community to help as a nurse. I learned the language to help them in my assignments. But you know what? It's so disappointing. This guy has no boundaries whatsoever. A hired criminal against my life. Apparently was called off the job once I got into a relationship with someone. But he didn't like that he wouldn't have been able to understand the guy's language quickly. Because the guy speaks Yoruba. Okay, so we've moved on from that. I've since been in another relationship with another Yoruba speaker. They didn't like that one either. Because he was Christian. And he would come into the house and sometimes say, "Thank you, Jesus. We got prayed for." Now, moving on from that, the original plan, why they were put into that flat, apparently, as they confess, as they reveal, however they do it. That man hardly speaks to me, but we have reconnected. But our communication is so, so difficult. Do you know what? that doesn't really matter. What matters right now is I've had to actually take matters to the police because the guy claimed he's a radicalist and not a Muslim. So, however, he's been deceiving that community. Last year, I had to seek refuge at the mosque. I cried on that patio, begging for my life, trying to understand what was going on. It was the second winter I had to return to people who I used to call my family. I just had to rationalize it that I had to get my clothes washed. But it's now official that I had to keep my distance from them because they've eventually developed a very complicated, to me, it's a very complicated relationship with Zubir. Somewhat disgusting too. So I can't be involved in that mess. I can't be involved with someone that confused. Actually, you know what? He manipulates the whole situation so badly against me. Anything and everything I do, he uses those people I used to worship with, people I used to meet. Apparently, he lied to the imam after I came back. So I got to the mosque, and the man of God there said to me, "You need to be married, you need a husband." It was quite discerning. Before I left there, I just stood outside the mosque for quite a bit. And who came over? I will he Zubair walks over to the mosque wearing the holy hat. I say he's defaming that faith. It's a good thing that he's actually admitted that he's not a Muslim. He got there and he actually confessed recently that he went there to lie to the imam to claim me as his wife. Can you imagine? I wasn't even this dressy. He claimed me as his wife. After bullying and intimidating me for 2 winters, I would run back to the family house. I wasn't understanding what was going on. I was trying to figure it out. As a human being who thinks, I'll be trying to imagine what's actually going on. I am a woman of God still. I've just stepped off stage. So I have had some insight that there are going to be some people who manipulate technology against humanity at large. I didn't know that it would be used against me. In 2025, he's been admitting that he's a hacker, he's a terrorist, and he has been behind a lot of charges that I'm getting financially, a lot of bank account closures and issues I'm having, a lot of stalking and defaming, judgment, intimidation, a whole movement against one individual because I'm a Christian. So called off the job, it eventually became a war against a Christian woman living next door. The most ridiculous, degrading thing is him then proposing marriage to me in 2025. He's lied that I'm his wife. He's lied that I'm his daughter. He's lied that I'm a childminder. He's lied that I'm a prostitute. I was trying to get into relationships. Somehow he had been breaking into my flat, accessing my flat with whatever his crew is. He's the one who confesses, so I have to name him. I have to go with his confessions. And then if you refer to the police with anything, they're confused, apparently. Unfortunately, he actually confesses that he's let them know what he's doing. He's let them know, and he's trying to use me, trying to intimidate me again, for me to keep calling the police. And then they act weird when I call them. I've had 2 women in the last week or two picking up calls, emergency calls, and then fumbling all over the conversation, going back and forth as if they can't comprehend simple English language, twisting things. You say, It's an emergency. My life is being threatened. And they start twisting those words like it's something else. I'm a human being. I am flesh and blood. You don't have to wait until this happens to a Caucasian person. You don't have to wait until it happens to your brother or your sister or your mother or your father. Because this guy will not hold back. A whole plane was blown up. I've done my bit. I didn't want to be part of this. I didn't want to be part of snitching on him or giving him up. But he confessed he's a radicalist. I had to. Pen 8 pages. The first time one of the female police officers let me down was when I handed in 8 pages of a radicalist confession. 8 pages. To this day, I do not have the police reference. I do not have to be explaining it, but if I do, I can stand corrected. I can be told, no, that's not how it's happening. But we have forensics team who can look into it. You know? Instead of just ignoring the situation altogether, a whole police force cannot pretend not to know how to deal with radicalism in the United Kingdom in 2025. I've only figured out a few things because of his confessions. In July, he was saying that he's feeling suicidal. He had been given a year to give himself up. A year to give himself up. I don't know if he had disclosed that at times that he was a radicalist. But I don't think this guy is owed any leniency whatsoever. He can't be target practicing on me. He's promised that he's going to violate publicly. He's promised that he's going to do harm. He won't be going out on his own. I can't defend anyone about this. This is my defense. And if you don't share this, if you don't actually take a stand and call the police too and share this information, it's not enough just looking aside and feeling sorry for me. It's not enough. My property is at risk. My life is at risk. Yours will be too. Sooner or later. This guy's not holding back. You can't shield him at all. You can't keep him roaming about free in the community. He's grooming men, women, children. He's capable of despicable things. I don't have to tell you what he's capable of. It's very well known. All I can say is what he threatens me, what he confesses. He's threatened to kill me. He's threatened to actually break into my flat and physically assault me. I have to keep things in place for my defense in case he ever really breaks in the mind to actually walk into my property. I'm not supposed to say I'm not afraid of him. But you know what? I will have to defend myself if he ever gets the balls to do such a stupid thing. We shouldn't be afraid of this guy. The police really should be protecting and serving us. They're uniformed, they're trained. And if they're not enough, they called for backup. They did this to me once on the 8th of August. They ambushed me here to fulfill a scheme that my family had against me. I will not succumb to that anymore. That bit was cleared up. They did that to an innocent person, calling for backup on me, who was packing and walking out of my flat. Unwillingly, but I was walking out because I don't like to be hassled. What's the point of doing that? What's the point? But I still got hassled. As I was approaching the door, I just looked back and remembered there's something that I need to carry. Because people had been breaking into my flat. People had been confessing things that they were doing. Do you know what? There's no worse thing than being defamed, degraded to this extent. to having to air yourself publicly when it was totally unnecessary. Whoever Zubair presented himself to and gave him a chance to last a year while treating me this way. No, you were wrong. I'm sorry. I do not agree with your decision at all. You were too lenient, and I do not expect you to make this mistake ever again. Judge, acting judge, training judge, never mind lawyers. If you're in the judicial system and you explored whatever he was presenting, by now someone should have told you if you were keeping an eye on him. You can't expect this guy to come back and tell you the truth after letting him loose in the community. For him to start confessing that he blew up Indian Airways. I'm so sorry to address you this way, but you were wrong. Please correct this as soon as possible. It's his confession. I don't know who you are. It's his confession I'm going by. Calling Zubair and trying to calm him down is not enough. Clearly, it's not enough. Whoever you are, whether he manipulated you into contributing, whether he raped you, whether he's given you a disease and you passed it on without knowing and is manipulating you, it does not matter. Whether you've been in his swinging sex club, it does not matter. Whoever you are, if you have not given him up, you're acting as an accomplice. I'm calling upon whoever is in his community, in Romford especially. It's not enough to come to his doorstep and stand up to him. It is not enough. I'm so sorry. I will not be treated inhumanely and wait for him to start speaking in the morning, early morning of hours of the day, when he expects that everybody else is sleeping, and not hearing him threaten me. Even to propose love that is so degrading, please. He cannot use those excuses to cover up for his crimes. This man has to pay for his crimes. He can't have been called off his job, his criminal job, against me going into a relationship, only to tune it up, only for people to give him more leniency, to tune it up and twist it into a game, twist it into something else, and you people decide to be taking the blame on his behalf. It's unacceptable. I'm so sorry. I cannot accept that you people just call him and advise him and let him go freely. You can't even calm him down. You know this. A few of you people who've been through Flat 4 Oak House in Romford, RM7, you know you've been running away from this flat when you discover how sinister this guy is, when you discover the darkness behind his plan. You cannot just be calling him to comfort him. You cannot. How can you yourself as call him just to check on him? How do you make sure he's not doing what he's doing to human beings? How? How are you staying in your homes, comforting yourselves, having known what he's capable of? How? Does my skin really need to look like his for people to listen to me? For people to actually call the police on Zubair? If that is a fake name and you actually know his name, I've given you the address. Flat 4 Oak House, Cotton's Approach, Romford. The police already know where he is. He often has a way of contacting them. He even boasts of it, that they're under his thumb. Should we really keep pretending? Should we really? Should we really keep pretending? Really? Is it worth it? Really? How much is he paying you? How much is he paying you for your silence? To just befriend him and not say anything when you actually know? Because I don't know. I was never supposed to be a part of whatever is going on. I never volunteered for this crap. I never signed up for it. Yes, I am denying I'm not part of his family. I'm not part of anything. He's the one who's trying to use me to cover up his crimes. I'm not part of anything he does. I don't know this guy personally. I'm just unfortunate to have bought a flat next door to where he lives. I can't even vouch for the way he accessed the flat. One day I just saw this man walking along the walkway until he eventually started trying to walk on my patio. And I had to ask him, no, 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 please use the walkway. And then he was inviting more people to walk across my patio. I now have chains on that patio. You might not see them from here, but I'm sure if you go through my channel, you'll see some videos of me trying to secure my flat. Eventually, I've had to change the locks on my door. I've not been able to pay my mortgage this month because I had to invest in security. I'm going to have to negotiate to beg my mortgage provider. I was in a better place with them, but now I'm delayed again. So I'm in a very desperate situation financially, which is a terrible thing for me to be confessing with my background and how I have tried so much to manage my finances, only for a hacker to end up confessing I'm a radicalist and he's been hacking any opportunity I get to make money. I've only lasted this long because of my savings and compensation I got from a car accident. And now, even when I tried to apply for universal credit last year, before I ran out of money, played with my screen while I was looking like this. Only this year, he confesses he's the hacker. He's been behind all these attacks, financial, even gone to the extent of hacking my sexual health results, which broke off the first relationship. And to this day, I've not been able to actually have a conversation with that man to tell him that the results had been falsified and then they were cleared up. This is a very bad situation. Trying to turn a whole human race against one woman, only to try and keep her to himself. Try and keep me to a criminal. I had to stand up to his father and say, no, 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 do not encourage your son to propose marriage to him, to me. It's impossible. He's a criminal. The only way you're going to help him is if he goes through the justice system, a correctional facility. Because it's not okay. There's no way I will stand next to a man like that. I would never recommend him to marry anyone. He treats women inhumanely. I can hear him from his flat. They walk around here with their heads bowed, talking about how I didn't know I was being used in a sexual swinging club, begging to marry him, and he won't do it, only to propose. I have stood up to the other elderly man who was encouraging him once he said he was tired of the game. I made a video about this and told him, never express this to me. It will never happen. After the way I have been treated by this man, inhumanely, violently, rubbishing my reputation all over the world, there's no way I would ever stand by Zubair as a wife. Please do something. If you know anything he's been doing, report him to the police. He's a terrorist, a radicalist. He's not someone who's good for the community in any way. No. Unfortunately, maybe his profession has allowed him. I know that he works as a security guard for Sainsbury's. His profession may have allowed him to access different types of technology. I've seen him with the lanyard for the NHS. His access, he might be using it to manipulate people. This needs to stop. I cried just now after he attacked me. I don't want to keep crying about this. I don't have to bang walls. I don't have to be angry. I don't have to be the one who's arrested for standing up to a radicalist. How ridiculous is that? When I was intimidated, they still tried to arrest me. Now that I'm standing up to him, he is working overtime to defame me. Apparently, he's got one officer who actually turned up to my flat last year. As of a few hours ago, he had stood back from tuning into him, from supporting him. Perhaps he decided, no, I can't stand by you. You're not innocent. But goodness gracious, if the rest of the force decide to stand by him, I don't know what will become of this community. His partners were promising war on England. And yet, he's still roaming around, able to call police to come for me when I walk around in the shopping area, waiting for someone to make me aggressive. Come on. Come on. Just because he knows violence is not my natural thing. So he'll get people in the community to be coming at me. What a shame it would be if someone actually tried to do something to me. I don't have to start learning to defend myself when I'm out and about just because a terrorist and a radicalist is being left to do whatever he wants. Who else should we come to? Who else should we be speaking to? Who else should be addressing a radicalist? Who else should be addressing terrorism? You can't send a Bobby into a war situation. These guys turned a whole community against one woman. Only a few people realize I'm human when they talk to me. And then he tries to offer them something to turn away from me or intimidate them. I know all sorts of people are pretending that they can't stand up to this guy. Okay, I must commend a few people. I know I said it's not enough. But coming to his doorstep and actually telling him no, it's a start. But I think you have to lift up your phone and also report whatever it is, no matter how small it is, to the police. And also confirm that this guy has said he's a radicalist. Please, help me get this guy out of the community and into the right place. Because there is no way this guy is innocent. He says it himself. He actually says it. Oh, I forgot. I'm not innocent. I've been pretending. Oh, I forgot. She never volunteered. This is not a game. My life is important. Your lives, you'll be questioning soon if you do not report this guy to the police. You gotta do something. Questions. Do I do juju? I respond to the Most High and whatever He does through me. But they do some sort of witchcraft. What's my job? I've actually recently applied to become a police officer. There weren't any jobs going on in my community in Romford, so I applied to South London. I had a couple of people confirm why this has perpetuated because of the financial situation, which he is attacking. So going round and round in circles while people are defending this guy. I can trade, I can make money, and he will totally hack this whole situation. Send people's names towards bank institutions. If they are involved, the police still have to take those people in and find out whether they are involved or not. It's really not my job. But I have emailed an officer. It doesn't matter that they expect me to call them, those emails need to be looked at. Because when I call, those people pick up the calls, act funny, hang up lately. I've had a few crime reference numbers. I don't need to keep logging them. Seriously. When I was having trouble with my job, I think a few doctors, as he confesses, stood up to him. I've requested for a link to send evidence to the police. Still haven't got it. So, where else should we go? Where else should I go? Apparently the solution is that I should still be married, live with someone else. I've done that before. I have lived with people, but this guy will keep trying to interfere. I've accommodated people briefly. He will try to intimidate them. Some people have the sense and stick around. In that way, they have stood up to him. And then he gets really nervous. And then they sit and plot and plan how can they get that person away. I've had numbers deleted off my contacts. They're hackers. I don't know how they do it. I've had emails deleted. I've had businesses come and claim things from me, which they shouldn't be, because they've gone into my accounts and deleted transactions. Fortunately, I had witnesses for some of those situations. Fortunately, I also know a bit of technology, so I can block them. I would request apologies from those people, because there are individuals in companies who are actually cooperating with the radicalist. Should you clear your names, maybe you just restore my faith and not continue charging me unjustly. Maybe you could just send me an email and correct things. But I think this radicalist really needs to be given up. You can't be queuing on the radicalist command to be manipulative, only to expect me to come and stand up to you when you already know you're messing up. You can't be expecting me to be writing emails to your managers, to be fighting for you to be sane. Please do the right things when you address me, when you approach me. You can't be messing up my name when I send you a copy that's written in black and white that you just need to update on a computer system. You can't be going into a computer system to learn how to be part of radicalism, to learn how to pretend to be a hacker, to change my name in there willy-nilly. I don't have to come and speak English to you for you to understand that an official document has been submitted. Address me as I am now called. It's not that difficult. You can't be expecting me to address you according to that, where I have such financial burdens. I have real issues to address. I'm a real person. I'm not a toy. You can't be playing around with someone like Zubir and expecting to become his wife by fighting me. If you do want to apply to be his wife, report him to the police and then come and bail him out. Then you can accommodate him. If you really want to be with a bad boy, if that's really a thing for you guys. I'm really not sure what you guys are admiring. I would not recommend him for any woman. But if in your mind you think that's what you can accommodate, report him to the police. Go pick him up from there. Go and defend him from there. Please. I've really had enough of this. I don't have to be living with death threats. even over people who are interested in me. This is totally, totally insane. Please, if there are any police people who see this, please, could you fetch this guy? You can't be fake waiting for me to be violent so that you approach me. This has got to end. I was sending those emails so that you guys know if anything ever happens, I really would not want to mop this guy off my floor. And it really should not happen in my flat. I would never harbor this guy. So please do the right thing. I've really had enough of this. From the day I started reporting this guy, I had already had enough. There's no need for this to be a daily thing.